Welcome back everyone. For today's video, we continue our speed run. We are still in the 600, possibly we jump to 1700 today. And we're gonna do a 10-minute game where I explained all my moves. So let's start. We're gonna play white. And as I haven't changed the opening, I think I will do all the speed run with the same opening, the Caro-Kann, so to show you different variations. So c5, c6, and then d5, right? Then you have this beautiful structure. The next thing you want to do is develop your bishop. It can be here, it can be here. Everything is good. Now they have a similar geometry, right? They have not geometry, they have symmetry, not geometry. They have symmetry on the board. So we can do this. And now they have played a little bit inaccurate, as this bishop is going to be bad. So we can try to punish this later in the game. So let's continue with our development. Get the knight out, get the other knight out. Okay, now they want to trade pieces. We can even trade here, it's completely fine. We can also avoid the trade of pieces. I'm gonna move back, bishop f5. Okay, the plan is to go g4, but I still have this retreating move. So I'm going to actually do something a little more aggressive. I'm gonna play c5, challenging the pawn structure. Once they take back, now I can develop my knight. Okay, they want to trade my bishop again. So actually I'm gonna decline again this trade of bishops and I will go back. If they take, I can just take back. And now I have an open file for my rook, or semi-open file for my rook. All right, I will just develop my knight. And I should be slightly better, as my bishop is good. Okay, now I think we have to ask ourselves this question. Can we take this knight here? I think that would actually benefit us, because once they take, they will try to defend this pawn structure with a move like f4. And what is going to happen is all the pawns are going to be... Oh, I was considering... Oh no, yes, fine, sorry. Now all the pawns are going to be on the dark squares, same as the bishop. So how is this bishop going to travel? Okay, so I'm gonna go back, targeting the pawn. He's gonna have to play this. And now I have a slightly better center with black, right? I have these two pawns fighting for the center. And I spot this check. I think I can even give this check and develop my queen at the same time. He's gonna have to move the king. And this pawn is weird now. Now maybe I can even win this pawn. Play this. He's gonna have to defend with the queen. Okay, so I'm gonna castle. I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible, also for the purposes of this video. I'm gonna castle, put my rook on the same file as the queen and the king. We can analyze this later. Maybe it was a good move. I don't know. I think it was a good move. Now I can reroute my knight, hit this pawn, for example. So I'm going to develop this knight and try to target this pawn down the line. What about d4? Takes. Okay, so also another principle here in chess. Once you have good pieces, I have good pieces, right? You can look for a pawn break. So d4 looks interesting. Once we take, he's gonna take back. And now my rook is going to be on the open file. So I'm gonna go for this pawn break. I don't know whether we are giving white the benefit of developing this bishop. But yeah, we definitely have better pieces. What I want to do also next is centralize my queen. Also look at these three pieces, these four pieces that are tied down. We don't really want to win the game immediately with a crazy move or a crazy tactic. However, we have to recognize here the advantages we have. So for example, they're targeting now my queen. And we can still have this trade of rooks. For example, I can win, I can push the pawn, it's gonna take back, I can win the queen. However, that will leave my queen hanging. I don't need to do that. I don't need to do anything risky in this position. Actually, this pawn is free, so it's a much better move, much safer. There is no risk for me. And now we can go for this idea, d3. Okay, yeah, we're gonna play d3 now, and the king is going to be stuck. As you can see, all the pieces are stuck. This knight is gonna have to move to a weird square. So my queen is being hit. I just have to move my queen to e5. So always look for this alignment of the pieces. My king, fortunately, is not aligned to my king. So if my king was here, then he might have some move like this. But again, there is no risk for me. I can just move my queen somewhere. I can move it, for example, I think this is a good square. Let's think for a second. Actually, I want to have it centralized. I don't have to try to win the pawn. So my queen is fighting for central squares in this position. Maybe this is also a good move. I don't need to guess now, or I don't need to calculate too much, as I am up to pawns and I have better pieces. So now I can also try to target the king. They're gonna have to move this knight eventually. I don't know how, because now I can take. Now it's very unprotected. What can we do here? So we can bring the rook into the game, for example. Actually, this is a better square. Queen h5, rook h5. Let's bring the rook into the game. Yeah, my bishop still looks... I have not moved this bishop. But discovering a good diagonal, I don't think I need to do anything about it for now. Okay, now he's hitting my queen, but I can even offer the trade of pieces with the rook. And I don't even have to take back with the rook. I can take even with the queen. Sorry, I can take back with the pawn. So let me think, what is slightly better? Maybe I can take back with this pawn. Yeah, everything is winning at this point, so I'm gonna take toward the center, and maybe I can have this. Oh, and keep blunder. See how this bishop was gonna be useful later? He probably forgot that I have a bishop here, so I'm just gonna take with check, and it's completely winning. I'm gonna bring my other pawns into the attack. Okay, he wants to probably take my pawn. Oh, he wants me to take the pawn, and this will come with check. There is no need to do anything aggressive. I'm just gonna protect here. Okay, now this pawn is hanging. I'm gonna take the pawn, and I will rush a little bit because I have 2 minutes on the clock. It's still a lot of time. Now I'm gonna centralize my queen. Maybe next thing to keep in mind is to target this pawn. c4. Oh, okay. Now it's gonna have to give up something. Probably the bishop. Yeah, because now I have this discover check. So that was a good idea, right? To centralize the queen and keeping an eye on this diagonal. Now he's in check, has to move. But this bishop is hanging, and he will probably resign at this point. Okay, now I don't even have to take here. Wait a second, takes. I think I can even promote to a queen, no. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think there is some interesting tactics here. Yeah, I can promote to a queen, and he has to keep an eye on my queen. So that's funny. What is the other idea? I can promote maybe here. Oh wait, I can promote here to a queen. My bishop is protecting, and the queen cannot move. So I think this is checkmate. Ah, that's funny. Yeah, I missed it at first glance. Okay, so I'm gonna do a bit of a review. He didn't make any major mistakes. Everything is fine for him, but he gave up the advantage the minute he's not developing this bishop, right? So in the first games, in the first move, sorry, we still have a slight advantage of, in this case, minus 1.45. So he's already down, even though material is equal. Just because I have better pieces and he hasn't developed, it looks like he hasn't developed anything after this move. Okay, so the biggest mistake he made was the bishop. Sorry, moving the bishop, hitting my queen, but I'm protecting this pawn. Right, after that, he didn't make any other mistakes until the blunder we saw of the knight. So he blundered the knight. And yeah, I just wanted to clarify the last checkmate we had here. So this is force. It's like the only move in the position he has. I don't know why I thought he had something else. And yeah, this is mating one, which is, I guess, sometimes hard to see. But yeah, we are keeping a pin on the queen. And now this queen is being protected by this bishop. And see how this rook never got into the game. So priority, develop your pieces first. I think he completely disregarded the development of his pieces, and he prioritized trading pieces, putting a knight here. No, you don't need to do that. There is no need for that. Okay, now we're gonna get a game with white. I will continue with our speed run playing the English opening, but this is a slightly different variation, probably that you have seen before. I'm going to play d4 right away, contesting the pawn. So if he takes, I take back with my queen, he develops the knight, I can just go back. Okay, and then he changed the order. So this is interesting. I can even push d5, right? I can grab more space and see where this knight goes. Okay, I can also contest this knight right away. We don't want to leave it there for a long time, so I'm gonna kick it right away. Don't play around with this knight. Alright, so second thing I'm going to do is fight for this pawn. Probably I should play e4 first. Let me think about it for a second. Yeah, maybe e4. He has this move. Yeah, just to play a little bit more comfortably. No, actually, I will give him this square. So maybe that's why we don't want to play e4 right away. So I'm gonna develop the knight, fight for this pawn. So he still has ways to protect it. It's fine. Okay, and he blundered the pawn. I'm gonna take here. This is just a free pawn. There is no attack to my pieces. These two pawns are defending this diagonal, so there is no risk for us. Now he wants to be spicy, so he's developing the queen. But there is no need to get too excited about it or try to target the queen. We can have a move, for example, like e4, hitting the queen, but that will weaken this diagonal. So we don't want to get into trouble. Let's just go back. I'm just gonna go back, hit the queen. Oh man, I'm sick. Okay, yeah, he's sacrificing the knight. I don't think this sacrifice really works though. The problem is I can take, he's gonna take back. So he's gonna take back, and then even put my queen here. Or I think even better, I can even put my queen on this square. And now how do you move this knight? This knight is lost, right? So I think his idea was to sacrifice right away. I'm gonna put my queen here. And maybe we can even do the calculation of taking the queen first. But then again, there is no need to get too excited. I guess you still want to calculate these sacrifices. But here he's just losing. Okay, he's sacrificing the queen. I don't understand this sacrifice. So I'm just gonna take the queen. There is no reason to not take it. and he should probably resign at this point. Yeah, this was sad because it doesn't give us a lot of education for this video. Yeah, he resigned. Yeah, there is no... Oh, he abandoned the game. Okay, and I won without losing any pieces. So let's do a bit of a game review. Yeah, this was really sad. Well, we didn't make any mistakes or anything. These are book moves. It has been played before. Here, this is a mistake. He should be hitting this diagonal, right? So the minute that I push c3 and then d4, I am weakening this diagonal. This is what he should be targeting. And okay, I just win this pawn. I go back. And the best move in the position is to come back, is to move the queen to safety. But no, he sacrificed the knight. This doesn't work. I can move my queen. The king is behind it. So priority is also to castle. Then he sacrificed the queen. I don't understand this move. And okay, yeah, this is a game over. GG's. Okay, let's do another game with white. Okay, thankfully we get white again, because this game was... It ended really quickly. So I'm gonna go for this idea again. c4 and then d4, right? Then the best move in the position... Oh, we get something... Is this a deja vu? Is it like a glitch in the matrix or... So now he's supposed to take my pawn. Yeah, that's the best move. Now he's gonna have to think whether he puts the knight here, whether he comes back. Oh my god, I don't think this is a good square for the knight. So we can do a number of different things. He's targeting my pawn, right? So I can put my pawn on b3, for example, but I don't even want to commit this pawn too early, this early in the game. So I can even just push e4, for example. I'm gonna push e4, grabbing more space in the center, protecting this pawn. And yeah, I'm winning. I'm winning on move 2. This is why this version of the English works really well. And here we can just defend. He's giving a check. I'm gonna defend with the knight. Okay, this is always a bad idea, moving your piece twice. If you're moving your piece twice, maybe he should be taking pieces, for example. Okay, we don't need to do anything crazy. I can always prepare something like a3 and b4, hitting these two pieces. But this is more advanced, I guess. I'm going to just develop the knight, hitting the pawn. So I'm just gonna develop my bishop. Actually here, any of these two squares is fine. But here, my knight will have mobility, right? In case he develops his bishop. And this is even more of a solid choice. So in this speedrun, we're also doing the most solid choices. We don't want to do anything like crazy or anything. Okay, now I can castle, but I'm gonna try to go for these two pieces because they're also really awkward. Like there is no much space for these two pieces. So I'm gonna go for a3 and then b4. He's gonna have to look for ways to move this knight or move this bishop. Okay, and yeah, he fell into the trap. I'm gonna play b4. These two pieces are fork. Then there is no way to save both of them. Probably it's going to be like a... It's like a desperado, maybe. He can take this pawn. I just take back. And this knight is still lost. So that might be the only way to recover some material. But he doesn't have much in this position, unfortunately. Yeah, okay, he's now targeting... That's smart. I think he's targeting the this diagonal, right? But we can evaluate it. We can even take this bishop, sorry, with the knight. And then I will have to move this knight. That's good. I think that's playable. I think even better, I can just protect this knight. And yet this piece is still lost. I don't see any way he can save it. So but I guess when in doubt, I think you can go for the more concrete choice, which is gonna be to take. I'm gonna take, and I don't think he has a way to save the knight anyway. So this is more concrete, and also it's more clear the advantage, right? We are winning one pawn. Oh, wow, I didn't see this move, actually, to be honest. So he's hitting my queen, he's hitting the rook. I'm gonna have to move, and I blunder. Okay, I'm gonna have to move my queen somewhere. Okay. So I'm gonna have to recover the piece now. Wow, this is... I didn't see that, to be honest. I should have just protected. But okay. There is nothing... I don't think we're completely lost. He's gonna take this piece. We should be fighting for this, right? We are still down the exchange. However, I think I have a beautiful space advantage more than anything. I don't want him to take my piece. That will be bad. I want to keep pieces on the board. And I also want to play as fast as possible, have all the advantage as I possibly can, because we are down. We are down the exchange, right? He has two rooks for a knight. Yeah, for the rook he took, sorry. Now, I also want him to create weaknesses around the king. Okay, that's a good sign. For example, that's a weakness he's creating, pushing pawns in front of the king. He shouldn't be doing that. So now I'm gonna hit the... Let me second here. If I hit, he can just take. So actually I'm gonna push this pawn on e5, and if he takes, that's probably gonna take. Now I think I can kick out his knight. I don't want him to push e4. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna kick out his knight. I'm attacking this pawn through this bishop, right? So he's now given a check. This move. Yeah, I saw brilliantly blunder, but I don't think it's a big deal now. Okay, I'm gonna move the bishop, kicking out the knight. Maybe I can bring the queen into the game. And now I have to think about where to put my knight and target this pawn. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try also this queen h5. Make him a little bit nervous, at least. And I'm gonna reroute my knight later. Whoa. Yeah, this is exactly what we want to do. Weaken his position around the king. So I hope I'm not blundering again. I shouldn't be. Look at this beautiful bishop as well. As well as this one. So maybe I want to trade this knight. I also want to provoke this if possible. So I'm gonna move here. And I want him to push this pawn. Ooh, nice. Now, so I'm gonna go for a trick now. I'm gonna put my knight here. If he takes, this comes with checkmate. I don't think he has to defend. So I believe he just blunder. It's a checkmate, right? I'm threatening to checkmate. And if he takes, sorry, if he defends, for example, he can play something like rook f7. Yeah, I can just win the knight. And we recover our piece. I think he sees that. He sees that I'm threatening to checkmate. So now he's gonna have to defend. He has this move, for example, or this move. Also is the advantage of the bishop pair, right? Nice. So now I can win this rook. He's defending. It's the only defensive move in the position. And now we can win a piece. And maybe I can even... No, I think this is fine. I'm also hitting the rook. Hitting this pawn. And this diagonal. Oh boy. Now he's giving up the rook, thinking he's gonna take back. But I have this check. And I have this check again. Once the king moves somewhere, now I can win this rook. Let me see if I can win. Can I win the rook first? Check. No, okay. Let's just... I can also just take here. Yeah, I think I can take directly, right? I'm just gonna take and then take the queen. It's the right triangle. Or isosceles, I think this is an isosceles triangle. Yeah, he's completely lost. Should probably resign. Okay, he just resigned. There is nothing to be done. Let's do a game review. Okay, guys, so I definitely blundered. Taking this is a blunder. However, the computer is saying, yeah, this position is equal. He doesn't really have an advantage, right? Just because I guess I have better pieces. I'm about to castle, and his pieces are weird, and he doesn't have, he hasn't grabbed a lot of space in the center. Now, once this happens, the next big mistake he made was exactly what I was provoking, pushing this pawn. Sorry, here. He's gonna push the pawn in front of the king. He had an advantage of 0.77, and now my advantage is 134. So this changes the game. Now, the next one was this, right? He has to go back. He has to go back and hit my queen, but he completely disregards this, and now he fell for my trap, right? And I'm gonna win this piece. And in this endgame, I missed mating 1. Yeah, I should have taken with my queen, but I was like, I'm just gonna grab more pieces. So I completely missed mating 1. But yeah, it was still completely lost anyway. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. I think it's the first blunder I made, but yeah, it's all good. I will see you in the next one, and take care.